For the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is up? Welcome to another edition of the John Wayne Show with my good friend Wayne. Whoo! I like it, man. How you doing, Wayne?
I'm doing good, man. Pulling that final stretch, man. We almost here. June is here. June is among us.
So close. So close. So, man, there's the world of the 49ers is plentiful today with the press conferences that went through. Minicamp has started. It's only 3 practices. We got one of them under wraps today.
Good one, too.
Yeah, good one. From all intents and purposes, like, here's what's crazy, and I don't even want to say this because I don't want to jinx it, but I'm not a big believer in the whole jinx stuff.
Okay.
Everybody's making it out all right so far. You know, we went through OTAs.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's tore their meniscus getting up out of a chair at this point, so I feel like we're ahead of last year. It was bad last year. We had the Achilles with Tarvarius Moore. We had the meniscus tear with Jeff Wilson Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like we've gotten away. The only kind of injury stuff that we've heard, Danny Gray tweaked his hamstring.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like one of the best things that you could do is get out of this kind of unscathed, and I feel like they've kind of achieved that so far.
Yeah, man. It looks like the injuries are kind of like under wraps. You know what I'm saying? Like these players have their bodies conditioned very well. I think the coaches figured things out. Like they're going to do things a certain way. They're going to go hard, but not a certain type of hard yet. And it's cool because they're getting conditioning in, right? And that's what we want. We want these players to get out there, get conditioning in. I mean, you saw Trent Williams first day, hasn't played anything, got to the pads and was looking like a Mack truck out there, right? He didn't waste any time. Man. And it's so cool to see these players go out there and do what they do. But like you said, man, the injuries are pretty much unscathed. We're doing well so far. And I can't wait to see what they have, planned for us on tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. Now, Jerome asked this. What's up, Jerome? He says, what's poppin', Breezy and John? How are the rookies looking? Well,
that's a good question.
They're not really looking.
Well, they're looking in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fish camp is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's freshmen learning the ropes. The 49ers rely on rookies less than any other team in the NFL. Any other team. And, Shanahan and Lynch, they will let a rookie sit and learn. But, again, you look at potential starters right now from last year's draft class, Trey Lance, Aaron Banks, Talanoa Hufanga, Elijah Mitchell, probably missing a couple other people, but that's the whole idea. So rookies aren't really getting a lot of snaps with the first or second team. It's basically individual drills and learn. That's the whole thing with rookies right now.
Yeah, and you this is what you expect, right? Because now the guys are coming back, man. You got the big boys coming back into town, into camp. You know what I'm saying? And training camp is only around the corner. It's about a month away, right? And so with the big boys coming back into town, this is good for the rookies because they already got their feet wet. Right? They got a lot of hype. They got a lot of attention, a lot of camera time, a lot of drills, under their wraps. And so now it's time to get the varsity team, if that's what you want to call it, back onto the field, get them back into the swing of things. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, man, this is a perfect learning session for these rookies, to sit there and see what it's like to be a pro. Like, how do you do this? How do you do that? You know what I mean? And so this is good for them. And don't get it twisted. There may be one of the possible rookies out there really competing for a spot. So, I'm not going to say their names yet, but there might be a couple of guys out there looking to get in. But John is right, man. Don't expect too many of the rookies unless something happens to get a lot of playing time this year. And I know everybody wants to see Drake Jackson. I think people want to see Danny Gray even more than Drake Jackson. So that's kind of cool, But Donovan West might be a candidate.
Oh, there it is. Now, I answered this question earlier today. I went live right after the press conference because I got too excited. I just get too excited sometimes, Wade.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it.
And I want your answer because I was going to bring this up, but Coach Cruz, the man, the legend,
He's the
brought it
legend.
up. So I want to ask you, man. You're the player. I'm the media guy. Here we go, Wayne.
Let's do it.
What guys or position groups, probably, I care more about position groups. When the 49ers cut down to 53, what positions do you think will get poached the most to other teams? So the guys that do not make our 53, whether that's position group or certain players, kind of who are some guys that come to mind for you? I'll tell you mine, but I want to hear yours first.
Whew.
Yeah,
we're really deep on the defensive line.
That's exactly what I said.
Are you serious?
Exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said.
So this is not a good thing. And let me tell you why. I don't know about you, John, but I want to sign and keep every defensive lineman. I mean, I know we signed them, but I mean, I want them to make this 53 and somehow go onto that practice squad and not get picked up, but it's going to be almost impossible.
Yeah. It's
going to be almost impossible, right? And so today you saw Bosa, Jackson, and Hyder hitting the sled. And then what about Kamiko and all those other guys, right? And then Jordan Willis, like, what if he's this year's like Jonas Griffith, and the next thing you know, we're trading him for a 4th round, 5th round pick. Like, I don't know. I just know I don't want any of them going. We talked about all offseason the depth on the D line, but because that's the deepest position. And guys know that Chris Kocurek can get these guys to do some things. Yeah. There might be some talent there that goes, gets poached, and is unfortunate. Now, the cool thing about how they can manipulate the practice squad with the veterans this year, it's really cool. So I'm dying to see if they can let some of those veterans go there and sort of, no one wants to pick them. Like if they put Kerry Hyder on there, no one's going to pick them up. I don't think no one will pick them up. I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough situation.
Because I will say this, the practice squad, 16 spots, 10 of them are vets. Okay. So you gotta have 10 vets on there. And let's say hypothetically, I think you have to call him up. The rules basically say this. Let's say Kerry Hyder, just for an example, which I think he'll make the roster, but let's just say he doesn't. Okay. Let's say the 49ers, hey, he wants to stay with Kocurek. It's where he's had success his entire career. He's on our practice squad. Let's say the Jets say, hey, we want you to come over here.
Dang, he's gone.
He's gone. Now,
you can't put him
the only time you get to protect them is during the season.
So the season has to start. Right. So he would have to clear off-season practice
with us. So let's get through the first week.
So let's have this conversation then, because which veterans do you think so remember, the 49ers are going to have to do something strategic. Yes. Like they're going to have to pick a vet that no one's thinking about. And it doesn't have to be on the edge. It could be a Hassan Ridgeway. You hear what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be an edge guy. It just has to be a defender. They put him on a practice squad, and they'll just have more edge rushers. I think they keep a lot of edge rushers.
Here's my question. Kalia Davis, who tore his ACL.
So
is that a guy that
maybe?
I think he'd be NFI. The way the NFL classifies injuries is unless you're signed in the NFL, it's a non-football injury. That's what NFI is. So even though he tore his ACL at a pro day, as far as the NFL is concerned, it's a non-football injury. Remember Marcus Lattimore, same situation.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. All the Trent Baalke picks, same situation. So he will not count against the initial 53-man because he has not practiced at all if he doesn't practice in training camp. That could change, but I doubt it. So they'll be able to stash him away. He's not going to count. But outside of that, yikes. You got about 14 guys. You're only going to keep 10, maybe 11.
They might keep 11. They may keep 11, but then what are you taking away from? The linebackers?
Yeah.
Can't take away from the secondary, bro.
And I don't think you can do the linebackers too because Azeez might not be cleared.
That's
right. He had 2 surgeries.
Yeah, 2 surgeries.
You have to find a position. And that's the thing. It's opportunity cost, right? Economics. If you have one here, you got to lose one there.
Great talk.
So,
look, the defense is going to be tough. It's going to be tough on the field, and it's going to be tough to figure out how to keep some of these guys. Like, you got to go with your best, but who are you keeping? And that's who's going to be that starting 11? I think we can probably do that. I think who's going to be the reserves or the depth for that D? You can only keep 53 people, so it's gonna get tough. Did we keep more defenders? Did we do offensive players? Like that? That's a great question that we'll get into in a few weeks, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. And that's going to be a fun conversation to stick with. And here's the thing. If you go back to the first 3 or 4 years with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, this wasn't really much of a debate
Nope.
because it was, 48 guys and whatever else. Now you're in one of the deepest rosters in the NFL, and that's a good problem to have. And so some of this will sort itself out with injuries and or trades or whatever. So we just got to kind of wait, and we'll deal with that. Now, here's what I want to talk about now, because I think this is huge. This isn't the way I was going to bring it up, but James, my man over here,
what's good,
says
James?
DK Metcalf, the wide receiver, exact same agent as Deebo. He was a second-round pick, so exact same contract situation as Deebo. Didn't show up in Seattle. They did not give him permission. He just didn't show. But our guy did show. Deebo did show. So how do you feel yesterday to today? Is there any difference with how you feel towards Deebo long-term or the likelihood that he comes back? Do you feel better now? Does him showing up change the way you see things?
For me, no, but for those that didn't believe it should, right? But for me, this is all part of the game.
Yeah.
This is the business. This is the stuff that people don't like to get into. And people get mad or upset or hurt when certain people handle businesses their own way. Deebo handled business his own way. Now, if you listen to what Kyle said, and I think we've been saying this for the longest, John, what was that thing I said? Kyle Shanahan's going to have to do what he did with Trent Williams in the 25th hour and have that conversation and like, look, dog, stop kidding around. I know this is what you want. I'll make it happen. Get your butt on the plane, be on this team, and let's go. And that's what. Why do you think Deebo's even here? People thinking it's because of the 90 grand. I don't really think it's because of the 90 grand. I think it's because of his relationship with Kyle Shanahan. I really do.
I got a clip pulled up right here. You talk about Kyle Shanahan and Deebo's relationship. Let's hear from Kyle himself today.
I mean, they always talk. I mean, I'm not going to get into that, and you guys can ask Deebo to speak for himself on that. But, I mean, love our relationship with Deebo, and hopefully that'll help us be able to solve this contractually before we get to the season.
Love our relationship with Deebo.
You know what, John? Being a teacher, being an educator, you build relationships, right? What are the best managed classrooms in the world? The ones where the teachers have the relationships with the students, right? Kyle Shanahan, everybody out here preaches about the 49ers culture, right? Oh, we can't have this guy. He doesn't go well with the 49ers culture. Like they built this kind of well, the culture was built by the head, Kyle Shanahan, right? So Kyle knows better than anybody else, each and every player. It's his job to get to know every player individually. They might have Kyle Shanahan has to do something that John and I have to pay attention to when we get students. They're called IEPs.
Yeah, you're not wrong, man.
Or 504s, whichever one you want to call it. That's what they're called. He has to get an individual education plan for each player. Why? Because every player or each player is unique. Deebo's unique to Kyle Shanahan, so he knows how to deal with them. So was Trent Williams. So was George Kittle. They all have uniqueness, right? That's what we love about these players. It doesn't make me feel any different, but I am happy that Deebo is showing that sign of maturity and that he decided to show up to be a participant in minicamp. He's not going to practice, but he's there, and that should be all that matters.
And, you talk about that relationship. This is the same relationship in the Cowboys game, which we were at, where we get the interception, and Deebo just walks up to the head coach and says, give me the damn ball. Give me the ball.
That's what he said. He said what you said.
And Kyle goes, okay, and gave him the ball and scored a touchdown. Like,
okay.
That's the relationship.
That's the relationship. That's the relationship. Now, why didn't Deebo go into the NFC Championship and say, Kyle, give me the damn ball? I don't know. But maybe my theory is.
Well, they did. He was returning kicks. He was doing everything.
I know, but it was like he saw one look. You can't tell me that there were 11 people on Deebo Samuel, John. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Maybe
I went back. No, we went back on Patreon, and Deebo and Ayuk were wide freaking open the whole game.
Don't you tell me that. I'm trying not to. I have a bunch of stuff built up about this because people kept telling me he was on lock. What's good, Peachy?
No.
What's good, Brandy? What's good, Kylie?
They said we got some great people in the chat right now.
Mariah's here. Mariah.
This is awesome. We got some great people here.
But they said he was on lock, John, and I couldn't figure out if they watched the same game I watched. But maybe they didn't have the all 22. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
And they got to join your Patreon in order to see
it. There you go. I will say this, though. Like, pressure was unreal, right? That was the 6-man front that we saw almost all game, that bare front. And, yeah, there was pressure. But, man, Deebo, everybody was like, Ayuk's open. And Ayuk was open. But I went back and watched Deebo every single passing play. And, yeah, it was unreal, man. Like, that game.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
So, how cool was it today to hear Kyle Shanahan talk about another wide receiver? And then he mentioned, like, the coach. Wait, you know what? Can we not talk crap about Kyle Shanahan anymore? Because he came out of his mouth and said these words, and I'm going to do my best to quote them. He said, like, about, and this is about Jauan Jennings. He said something alluding to, I'm not going to quote, I'm going to paraphrase it, about how he's the best receiver on the team that can create separation.
Separation. I did not expect that. And it's different from the slot. The slot starts with more separation, right?
Yeah, but he's not a fast guy, John.
No.
He's 4'7", bro.
And Charvarius Ward said the same damn thing.
That's my point. They're co-signing it. This is crazy. What a freaking good problem to have. Not to say that it was a problem, but drafting him in the 7th round, having this kid on the team, that had to be one of the greatest draft videos of all time, too, by the way.
Yeah. And, man, Ayuk and Jauan Jennings were drafted the same year. One was first rounder, one was seventh rounder. And then Jennings got cut because of the hamstring and then brought back on. Yes. It didn't do anything. And like, you remember whenever we cut Jalen Hurd, a lot of people were like, Jauan Jennings too, right? And then boom. And he didn't even bust on the scene right away. Mohamed Sanu was getting all those snaps.
Well, because he was the veteran. You talked about Kyle Shanahan not using rookies. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only reason why he even used Brandon Ayuk is because Deebo was he was hurt, and Brandon Ayuk was the fall guy. So he had to use what he had. You know what I mean? But I think you were right about that, man. But Jauan Jennings is getting mad praise. And here's the thing, you're seeing it from Jauan, right? And so there's one thing that stands out to me about Jauan Jennings, and it's the night he got drafted, and it was the phone conversation with him and Kyle, and he said to Kyle Shanahan, crying, I'm about to start crying, he said, "You got yourself a dog, coach."
That's fun, man. That's fun.
I'm excited.
I want to play this clip. It's a 32-second clip. This is Kyle Shanahan talking about Ayuk and what Wayne just brought up, Jauan Jennings.
I'm extremely confident in Jauan. I think if anyone watched our games at the end of last year, not many people covered him. He got open. He had aggressive hands. He got up the field. He blocked well. Jauan was a guy we had a lot of hope for coming into stuff. He had some setbacks with injuries, but once he got healthy and he got his opportunity when Mo went down last year, he took off. And this offseason, him and BA, the first day they got here, they've had as good an offseason as they've had since they got in the league. And they're as good as they've been right now, both of them.
Oh, as good as they have been. They have been.
Won't see Brandon Ayuk in the doghouse. Brandon Ayuk gonna be building the doghouse for somebody else. Hey, Danny Gray, you better take a page out of these books.
Yeah, and I think he will too, because Danny Gray was feisty. I mean, he's from Madison High School in Lancaster. Yeah. Like, that's a tough school. It's a tough school. So he's been through it, and multi-sport. I ain't worried about him. The hamstring, I'm not too worried about.
You took it back to the high school, bro. That's official. Like, man.
We used to coach against those cats, man. They freaking athlete central. And yeah, we would, they were some hard fought games. I ain't gonna lie, but they get some athletes. Those some tough games. I ain't gonna lie, man. But their track team every single freaking year. And he won the freaking state championship as a junior, I think.
It was funny when they asked him about being a track guy or a football guy, and he clearly let everybody in the world know he is not Marquise Goodwin II. That's what he was trying to tell everybody. I don't know if you picked up on that, but he was letting everybody know that he's a football guy.
Yeah, I'm a Longhorn, so that hurt. That hurt me. That hurt me. But that's okay. That's okay. Now, there was another player that got praise from everybody, not named Trey Lance. We'll talk about Trey Lance later.
Okay.
Jake Brendel.
I don't know if people understand that I study this team now. Like, and I've been paying attention literally to the stuff behind the scenes. Earlier today, I had a little question or something, and it was like, who's going to start at center, blah, 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 blah. And I tried to explain the relationship. We're going to use that word probably a lot. It was good, Nick. The relationship between Brendel and Trey. And then when Trey came out his mouth and said, yeah, man, that's my guy, because we've been practicing together for almost a year now. It just made sense. And then when Trent Williams co-signed it, and I know you got the clips, when Trent co-signed it, it was like, yo, he a vet. He a vet.
Yeah.
He knows the system inside and out.
We think he's a backup, and we think he's young because we just got him last year.
Exactly.
He's been with Forster for years back in Miami. I want to say, I think I missed this one earlier. I apologize. Master J, appreciate the gift on the Super Say. Said, what's up, Breezy and JC? I assume I am JC. Fix the O-line, and we're off to the races. He was
talking about JC Treader, so that's what confused me, but he was talking about you. Yeah,
I get confused for NFL offensive linemen on the regular, just without the potential. Thank you for the gift, my friend. And yeah, you're right. Where this team goes, gosh, where Trey Lance goes is going to be dependent upon the offensive line. They got all the bodies, a lot of numbers, a lot of depth.
See,
can they get that starting group figured out?
I like what you said, but what if I said I think Trey Lance helps the offensive line? Okay, we'll leave it at that. That's my thing, right? Because the way Trey's style helps the offensive line, and then oh my gosh, man, the fact that he said Jake Brendel he knows all the plays and he calls out all the protections and he does this and he does. I was just like, Trey, shh, don't tell nobody else, man. Chill, Trey. That's your guy. We get it. But nah, the praise for Brendel was amazing because we think we don't have a center. I don't hear, and somebody said this in the chat, how come none of the coaches are worried about the offensive line and we are all sitting here worried about the offensive line? I'm trying to figure that out too. I'm not worried for some reason. Why am I not worried?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting for sure. Shanahan and Lynch, their entire MO is build from within. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to bring in outside, but they've been with these guys in the building for a year plus. And so for them to feel comfortable, and I think this is the clip you're talking about where Trent Williams talks about Brendel. It's a quick 19-second clip. Just listen to the best offensive lineman in football.
I mean, that's why he's here. That's why all of us are here. I mean, to be in this offense, you have to be an athletic offensive lineman. And I think you can look through that whole room, and everybody's an athlete in their own way. And Jake is definitely an athlete, definitely a quick twitch guy, definitely has short area quickness, which makes him a great center.
And he talked earlier, like whenever I talk to Jake Brendel, it's like talking to a coach because he knows everything. So he's got the athleticism, he's got the intelligence, he's got the experience. Now, it might not be in-game experience, but he's been working with Trey for a year. We've talked about getting somebody that Trey Lance is comfortable with, and now maybe we're selling ourselves, and maybe we're buying the cheese or whatever you want to say.
Maybe.
But they have the money to go sign J.C. Treader right now. There's Nick Martin out there. There's guys out there that are available. And Kyle Shanahan, they even asked Shanahan about this, and he said, we're comfortable and we think what's best for our team is what we have here right now. So allow the competition to take place.
I'm just saying, I tell you right now, and I don't have wood to knock on, but the only thing that would worry me is if one of the players that we have gets injured. Other than that, I'm super confident in this offensive line because it's going to be quicker. Like it's going to be a quicker offensive line. Like the plays are going to move faster. Like, and they're going to be in sync. Look at how fast Trent ain't saw football. Trent hasn't been healthy since week Maybe 6, 15.
And he
I
was
don't
still
know.
an all-pro. Should have been unanimous, missed it by 1 vote, which was ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah, that was stupid.
Trent played on 30%. It was like a 30% left tackle in that NFC Championship and still came out there and gave it his all.
Yeah, he did.
But now he looks good. Like he looks good. Like he looks good. Yeah. That was the next thing I was gonna say. That dude's he's a mammoth, man. That dude is huge, man. Look, the running backs are gonna have a good time. I just want to see Trent pull as a tackle. Yes, I said it. From one side to the other, trade boots to one side, trade and just let it happen. Just let it go. Just let it do it. Just let it do its thing.
It's
And
so close.
I'm
It's so
predicting
close to
this.
happening.
It's so cool. I'm predicting this right now on the John Wayne show. Trent Williams will have 1 rushing touchdown this year.
They tried getting him the receiving touchdown last year. Remember, he like leaped up and leapt up and tried to do
He's
a
gonna get
one-handed
rushing TD this year. You know why? Because he's taking notes from Jason Poe.
He deserves. Oh, Jason Poe. That's a whole nother conversation we need to have. Real quick, appreciate the gift from Green Lastful. He says, "Great show. What kind of Chinese food should I order? I'm a Kung Pao. I like spice. Kung Pao shrimp is what my go-to is. That's where I always start. I want spicy shrimp and chow mein or lo mein. That's what I always want. That's
I was gonna say get the shrimp and broccoli with the lo mein and get you a side of boneless spare ribs if you eat pork, because you got to get the side of it, the joint. You know what I'm saying? But and get shrimp fried rice too on the side. Just go carbolicious with it, man. Carb and sodium. Have fun. You're gonna eat Chinese. Go all the way.
Yeah, man. I love it. Now, man, we got a question asked. The chat's blowing up, which I love. So I apologize if I'm missing any of these questions. One of the questions that was asked is, who is the number 6 wide receiver? So what I want to do, let's jump in. Let's talk a little bit about this depth chart here. Let me see if I can share my screen. We have the technology here. This is here we go. This is from Spotrac, and this just shows the contract on all of the wide receivers that you can see at the top. So what do we know? We know Brendan Ayuk. We know Deebo Samuel. Those 1, 2. You're going to put in Juwan Jennings, who's making the least of every single wide receiver on the roster. He's making less than everybody, which sucks. He's going to get paid, but he's number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Gray's number 4.
Do you think Gray is 4 or Ray is 4?
I would take Danny Gray, but okay, let's say 4 and 5. The question was 6, right?
The question is 6.
This is where it gets interesting. So those are your 5: Ray McLeod, Danny Gray. They round out 4 and 5. So let's list these names now. Also, if you guys haven't caught it, we're doing the 90 freaking person player profiles, every single one of them. We're on, I think, 87 right now. I've got 4 recorded. I got a bunch more to go. So we're going to detail everybody. But here's the wide receivers that we haven't mentioned: Tazier Mack, Tate Martin, Malik Turner, Jordan Matthews, even though he's in the tight end room, Marcus Johnson, Keyshawn Johnson, Austin Mack. So there's a lot of bodies. Do you like somebody from that group, Wayne?
I do. I'm going to go on the record and say that I don't think the 6 wide receivers on this list. I'm going to leave it at that. But if I had to pick from this list, I think it would be Malik Turner. And it's because of what he can do on special teams and what he can do as a wide receiver and what he can do in the backfield, right? So you can utilize him kind of like in 3 ways. He's kind of like, I'm not saying a poor man's Ray McLeod, but he's kind of mirroring what Ray McLeod can do. Right. So you can have 2 guys you can have there in the special teams unit that can return passes. They could be gunners as well. And then they can catch passes from your quarterbacks, and they can line up in the backfield and run out of the backfield. We've seen it. And so I think if it's going to be one of those guys, I know a lot of people like Keyshawn Johnson. I don't think he gives you as much as the other receivers. So I think it would be like Malik Turner.
Yeah, I think he's got probably the most experience, right? He's 26.
Oh, okay.
Out of those group. Now the 2 guys, I'm going Big 12. I'm going Marcus Johnson, my Longhorn who came over from the Colts, or Tate Martin, the
undrafted guy.
Yeah, undrafted from OSU, Oklahoma State.
Undrafted guy you think is going to make this team?
I gotta have one.
I like it. I love it. I love it.
I don't think they keep 6.
I think they keep 6. So you saying they go with 5?
think they might go with 5. If
No.
everybody's healthy, just go 5. They
Nah.
did it a lot last year.
They can't go 5. They got to have 6. I think they should go 6 on the roster, 1 less running back, and then, hopefully stash. It all depends on how they're able to stash on the squad.
I see his shades.
I see his shades.
Throwing it up there. I love it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever it is, it's going to be a fight. The competition level across so many different positions. It's
going to come down to which one of those wide receivers is the most dog.
Who's going to block? Who's going to block?
Which one's going to block?
Which is crazy. Special teams and blocking. Yeah, you're right.
I'm trying to tell you that's the one Kyle's going to circle and bubble on his joint. So are you as excited as in the camp battles as I am, bro? Because there's some fights that's about to go down, and it might literally be fights. Like
people playing for their careers, playing for their jobs, their bank accounts, their families.
That's crazy.
And, my least favorite day in the NFL is cut down day. I hate that because dreams get crushed, and that's a lot of people's last experience in the NFL, which sucks. But this is the best of the best. And the way in which the 49ers have built this team is it's the antithesis to what the NFC West is doing. All other teams.
They spending money. They doing their thing.
Just stars and no depth, and we're all about depth. But we still have 5 All-Pro players. So, I don't know, man. I like the way the 49ers
Why do I feel like we have more than 5 All-Pro players? Can we go through the list of the All-Pros? Like George Kittle, Trent Williams, Deebo,
Fred Warner, Deebo.
Yeah.
And then Nick Bosa.
Bosa made All-Pro?
His rookie year, yeah.
Dang.
His rookie year he did. When he won Defensive Player of the Year.
Should have made All-Pro last year.
Rookie. Sure as hell. He should have been second team All-Pro probably last year.
He should have made it, period. When you got a guy that gets held 22 times in one game, you got to give him something back. You know what I mean? That's another question I have for you. How does Kyle Shanahan and the team figure out a way to counter that? How do you counter so that your guy isn't getting held? I know it's hard because the other team is doing it, but is it if you have the pressure on the other side and they get home to where the people are going to have to let up on them or what?
Nick Bosa, the reason why all those happen is because he has some of the best hands in the NFL on the defensive side. And so, whenever the offensive linemen go to engage, right, and try to get that breastplate, Bosa's so quick because there are edge rushers that win with separation. Bosa's not that guy. He's phone booth. He gets in tight and then slips. And so that's why those hands are always, hooked around his neck and those holds and all those things. But you just got to keep doing it. And each team in the NFL submits to the competition committee after every single game, however many plays they thought were missed, they submit those. And you just got to be, and here's the sad thing. This is all right. I think it changes once Nick Bosa gets signed. The Michael Jordan treatment, right? When the money shows up,
I see what you're saying.
NFL cares about, and I hate that. I think that way. I wish I didn't. I'm not a tinfoil guy, but when the name and the money match, I think that's where that's going to be.
So we gotta wait. We gotta wait one more year. Or do you think Kyle Shanahan knows that and they try to work out an extension now?
No, they even said both sides are not talking because both sides don't want to. I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Bosa's not thinking about an extension right now. He's
it's going to be a $30 million a year.
Jeez.
It's going to be 5 years, $150 million, something like that. And he deserves it. He deserves it all. He deserves it all.
Yeah.
Shotjay. Oh, here we go. For Bosa to get held less, the Niners have to win more and decisively. Winners get better treatment from the refs. You're not wrong.
He's not wrong. We were just kind of alluding to that. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but here's my thing. If Bosa's getting held on every play, the other side has to win. All right. So I'm expecting the other side to get home because the doubles are going to be on Bosa every game. Week 1, double. He's going to get double teamed and shipped. That's how much Bosa is going to get far as attention, right? He's going to get doubled. He's going to get a tight end to just try to knock him off his, route, trying to get to the QB. And then the double team is going to come in, right? And then, so the other side's got to win. How does the other side win? Rotation.
So many guys, man. And I'll tell you this, we look at Drake Jackson, the rookie, back to kind of where this podcast started, this show started, which rookies, how they look at. That dude is huge.
Oh my God. Did you see him line up compared to Bosa?
Huge.
Wait a minute. I thought Nick Bosa was huge. You know what I'm saying? But when I saw Drake Jackson, I'm like, wait a minute. What is going on here? Now, Nick Bosa do got the thunder thighs,
yes.
Right? But Drake Jackson's size, body is just taller and bigger. I was just like, wow. And then he's quick. So, oh my gosh, it's gonna be the defense. I can't wait to watch defense. I know I want to see offense put up points, but I can't wait to watch defense. And Javon Kinlaw looked huge too. Did you see Javon Kinlaw walking with Deebo Samuel?
That dude
lost all the fat.
Shadow. It's just unreal, man.
He lost all his fat. Like, where did it go?
He didn't have much, but he was huge.
I got you.
All right, here we go. I love this. What's up, Terrato? Hey, y'all. When Javon Kinlaw gets sacks this year, am I wrong if I chew and spit sunflower seeds? Absolutely. You do what you got to do, man.
You're not wrong.
What you got to do.
As long as you're talking while you do it.
You got to do what you got to do.
You got to be talking when you do it. That's the only way it works.
Yeah, you got to eat a squirrel. I see that in there. I love it. Yeah, man. He's different. He's different. And also, I said this earlier. I think it was yesterday's show. If there's two players that I think on defense the entire season hinges upon, and there's lots of guys, whatever else. But if Kinlaw and Talanoa, this is going to be a top 5 defense. No questions asked. No questions asked. Those are the two kind of question marks. The health of Kinlaw, that's all I'm really concerned about.
Exactly, because he could play defensive tackle. The one thing he's going to do is stop the run. He's going to fill those gaps in there. The linebackers won't have to work as hard. I don't know if we remember that, but that was the biggest thing. Now you're going to have him and Armstead in the middle.
We haven't seen that. We have not seen Armstead and Kinlaw inside. We haven't.
Oh my gosh.
Fred Warner might be having his freaking best year ever, which is saying a lot, because you remember he struggled early on
because he had to overcompensate.
Yeah, you had 95 Contavious Street in there. Kinlaw was injured. It was just bad. And then they moved Armstead in there, and all of a sudden, Fred Warner's all-pro Fred again. Now, Kinlaw and Armstead.
Bro. And then they got rotation. Maurice Hurst. Like Kevin Givens. They got guys. I'm excited for the defense. I'm excited to see what the offense is going to do, because we also got weapons. And you heard who was it that spoke about the offensive weapons? Was it Javarius Ward or whatever? We got weapons. And it was like, yo, when all them guys get out there, it's going to be crazy, yo. Like Deebo's back, Kittle is back. Kittle wasn't there. When Kittle was back, like, it's going to be crazy. And the cool thing about our team, with the 5 or 6 all-pros that we just talked about, like, they're going to be able to get each other better, right? And I think that's the cool thing, right? So you're going to have Jimmy Ward, and it's cool. Jimmy Ward and Fred Warner are really going to try to, like, get into Trey Lance's head. And I think that's exactly what they need to do, right? Because they're working on their skill set, but at the same time, they're trying to make sure that Trey Lance is ready for the NFL, ready for what these defenses are going to throw at him. I think even though D'Amico said Trey been getting the best of him lately, D'Amico got some tricks up his sleeve come training camp.
It's going to be a battle. And Nick, good friend, he says, man, talking about improved special teams too. Like, we're not going to be at the bottom of the NFL anymore.
That was the one thing that needed to be fixed. I thought special teams was that third piece that was just, it just wasn't good. Just wasn't good. It had its moments. It just wasn't good.
There's a lot to be, man. Remember where we were 5, 6, 7 years ago, right? And just the bottom pits of the NFL, and the front office was a mess, and the coaching was a mess, and the quarterback was a mess. Like, man, we're spoiled right now. If you're not enjoying this time, if you're not enjoying this offseason, might want to check yourself, because these are the times as sports fans, as 49ers fans, you should be enjoying, because there's so much hope. So much hope. We're coming off an NFC championship game appearance, and the arrow's pointing up.
Yeah, it's trending up.
I'm so excited, man. Now, before we jump out of here, I hope that you guys are coming to party with us. 49ersrushroadtrip.com. We got the Chicago itinerary up for the VIP members. If you're at a party with us all weekend, Wayne's going to be there. We're going to game at Wrigley with the Giants and the Cubs. Man, we're going to be doing some Illuminati's pizza, deep dish pizza. We're going to be, man, I'm trying to schedule in there a jazz club. I love jazz, and Chicago's got some of the best.
Oh,
jazz
snap. Let me know. I hope they let me get on stage, man. I can hang with them.
There we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. So I hope you're coming to party with us. If you haven't got your tickets for week 1 yet, 49ersrushroadtrip.com. We're going to be adding all the other weeks, man. We're working. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes to make sure everything's solidified and we've got everything covered. So if you haven't yet, get over there, get your tickets, come party with us. It's going to be, man, I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped, Wayne.
You can't. I'm ready. I was hoping the game was going to go to sleep and wake up and we ready to go. Like Trey Lance, you know what I'm saying? Let's go, man. Oh, how can we not talk about this before we end the show?
Oh, let's go.
Everybody's calling him quarterback 1. Like, it's just cool to hear the players say it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, oh, quarterback 1. Oh, he's quarterback 1. Oh, Trey Lance, quarterback 1. Quarterback 1. Quarterback 1. Like only person that didn't say it was Kyle Shanahan, but he signing that he's the guy, right? Like, it's just so cool that Trey has been given the keys, you know, to the range, and you know, and then Kyle alluded to that Trey had his best day today. He said that this was good, and this is the reason why OTAs were important, right? So he can continue to get in the reps to continue to progress. And we talked about that, John. We said that Trey, when he struggles, he usually doesn't struggle the same way. Might be a different struggle, but he usually progresses and learns from it. You heard Steve Young, the legend himself, says Trey is a what? Great processor of the game, right? He just has to get that other part going for him. Man, look, man. I'm excited, man. Chicago, make sure y'all there, man. It's gonna be crazy. The whole nitty-gritty crew, I believe, is gonna be there too, John. So we're gonna have a blast.
Dude, I'm excited, man. We've already got the party spot where we were last year, Gracie O'Malley's, which is a Niners bar. We got that set aside, reserved. We even had overflow set up because last year in Chicago, man, we overdid it a little too much. We've got it set up. We're tailgating the morning of the game, unlimited beers and brats. We got you nonstop the whole freaking weekend. It's going to be incredible. So I hope you come out, get your tickets. If not, that's okay. We'll get you another time some point this season. But man, Wayne, this is awesome. I love this. Now, next week, Wayne has graduation on Tuesday, correct?
So
we'll talk. We got to find a different day.
We got to do a different day or a different time. It's up to John and you. So if you guys want to go on a little bit later, like 8 o'clock, I'm down. It's up to you, though.
I'm basically homeless moving forward. Friday's my last day as an educator. So
you lucky motherfucker, man. I'm not done to the 22nd. Free me, please.
Oh, gosh, man. That's a long time. Whew.
Yeah,
hey, I like going year round with those snow days.
We
man.
might as well just stay in till August. You know what I mean? Jeez.
Oh, man. Well, thank you guys, everybody, for hanging out. Wayne, you got anything before we say peace?
I love y'all. Stay up, stay faithful, y'all.
I love it, man. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all. We'll be going all week, and we'll be back. We'll let you know what time we're going to do the John Wayne Show next week. But until then, stay strong, faithful.